Hey there, my name's Bernard, and I wanted to make a weapons tier list for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 for all the weapons up to Season 2 before the crossbow gets released. This weapons tier list is going to cover every weapon, like I just said, from a hardcore perspective. So this is not a tier list to keep in mind if you're going to use these weapons in core. This is just how I view these weapons, how they perform in hardcore modes, and mainly from a respawn mode perspective. So search and destroy may not necessarily agree on a lot of these things, but with that in mind, let's just go ahead and get on with it. So first one on the list is going to be the M4, the jack of all trades. Uh, it does essentially everything relatively good, doesn't do anything specifically well. Um, it's got 30 rounds in the mag, a little bit of recoil, but that can get mitigated with how you build the weapon. Doesn't really have much of a one-hit kill distance, of course, if you hit him in the face. Uh, I'd say it's a good all-rounder. You can't go wrong with it, um, but there are certainly better ones. So I'm gonna put that in B tier for right now. The TAC 56, you might also know it as the Scar L. Slower firing, heavier hitting assault rifle. This thing does have a pretty decent one-hit kill distance when you start hitting it for damage range. Um, you can put magazine attachments up on it so you can have sustained fire rate. This thing performs pretty well in hardcore. It's not the best, obviously, but um, it's some situations it's kind of hard to beat it. I like the weapon a lot, so it's gonna go in front of the M4. Cast off 7.62, the God favorite AK-47. Now it's just called the AK-103, but this thing hits hard. There's no other way to put it. It hits hard. It's like a truck at range. Um, it's just gonna be an A tier. It's good. You see a lot of people running around with this AK just because it hits hard at range. Lockman 556. So I did get to use this a little bit in hardcore. As if anyone else doesn't know, when they released the game, they didn't have hardcore in it, and then season one they gave us tier one, which still wasn't hardcore. Everyone griped and moaned about it, and we got hardcore. But I did get to use this weapon in our current hardcore playlist. It's a really low recoil rifle. Doesn't hit quite that hard. Doesn't really have much of a one hit distance. I like it because it's very controllable, relatively quick on ADS speeds, and of course you can get it whichever way you like. Do I think it's better than the M4? That's a good question. No, I don't think it beats the M4. Uh, probably simply because the M4 just shoots faster. That's probably why. The STB 556, the AUG. Um, a lot of people love this in core, so when we were grinding before Tier 1 came out, this was a proud favorite. I don't know how it is now in core. I don't necessarily care about core, but in hardcore, this thing performs pretty decently. It's got respectable handling. Close range one hits. You can put what is that magazine, the single tap mod on it. Then it starts one tapping at a very respectable distance. Um, I like it better than the M4. I will use it hands down over the M4, but not the Scar. Then we have the M16. This gun, when the game came out, this gun was probably the definition of a terrible weapon. It was just so underpowered. You had to get lucky to get kills sometimes. That's just how bad that gun was. Then Tier 1 came out, and then, of course, if you hit them in the head, they instantly died, so it acted like a small buff to the M16, granted, if you can hit them in the face. And then they came out with Hardcore, where the M16 performs really well. You can one-hit people at distance. If you don't kill them in the first bullet, that second bullet is not very far behind and will kill them. Uh, so you're just gonna be constantly like one bursting people left and right. It's a very good gun in hardcore, especially when you get it for recoil, to kind of get that burst grouping in a little bit tighter. Um, it's a solid A tier for me. Kastov 74U, the AK-74U. This gun was the crowd favorite and for all you tryhards out there, especially in core and in tier one. It's got really quick handling. It's got some, I wouldn't say it has a like really any recoil. It's really controllable because you could just run this thing around with just one or two attachments and it would still beat just about anything. Um, really quick movement speed, really quick handling. It'll one shot up at close range, maybe middle range. It's not the greatest at like ranged attack, but it's a solid gun. I'm gonna put it in front of 16. Cast off 545. So I after they buffed the weapon again, or after they buffed it for what was it season one, this gun became really good. Before the buff, this thing was terrible. It was like M16 tier. It's just so woefully underpowered. But now in hardcore, this thing will one tap up to like close to medium range. It's not bad. Low recoil, faster firing rate than the than its bigger brother, the AK-103. It's an all around good gun in hardcore. I have no complaints about it. Uh, it's an A tier in front of the M16. Uh, we got the Chimera. So this gun came out what? See at the beginning of season one? I can't remember. Uh, it's an integrally suppressed 300 blackout assault rifle. Very small. Um, it doesn't like to one hit that all that often from the times I've used it, but it's also got a really fast fire rate. It feels a lot like you're using the M4 with a built-in suppressor. Of course, you can put a barrel on it that just removes the suppressor. In fact, I think all three of the barrels remove suppressors from it. Then you can extend its reach out just a little bit farther. The recoil is not bad. It's entirely manageable. I like the gun. It's not my favorite though. Um, I'm gonna say it's a B tier, above the M4 but below the AUG. And then we have the M13. Uh, Still some people haven't been able to use the M13 because it's a DMZ exclusive gun. You had to go kill the chemist and extract with the M13 to get it. Uh, it's a really fast firing assault rifle. It's supposed to be like the faster firing brother of the M4, but in core modes it's a pea shooter. In hard or not in hardcore in tier one it was a pea shooter. Now if you hit him in the face, great, you gotta kill him. There's no ifs ands or buts about it. In hardcore, you have 30 health. It doesn't do 30 damage. Um, but the fire rate on it is so fast. You're gonna get kills with it. I like using it in hardcore. I don't care what anyone says. It's not a half bad gun in hardcore. Um, where I think it goes though, below the M4. Then we have the newest assault rifle, the Hemlock. Um, I don't know how this thing does in core, but in hardcore, it is an absolute monster. I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and stick it in S tier. That's where it belongs, and you can't convince me otherwise. It's got a little bit of a slower fire rate, very manageable recoil, uh, respectable handling speeds, movement speeds. Where this thing excels at is its reach. It will one hit at a pretty ridiculous distance sometimes, especially when you put the 300 blackout ammo in it. You can get some really long one hits with it. Um, I thoroughly enjoy using the gun. I use it all the time. There's videos of me, uh, or there's a video of me on my YouTube channel where I will drop a nuke with it. It's just that good. Next up is the F-TAC Recon, everyone's least favorite tac rifle. It's still everyone's least favorite tac rifle. You get a maximum of 15 rounds. It kicks hard. In hardcore, it hits hard. But even when I was using it, even in single fire mode where it's supposed to do more damage, I'm still not getting consistent one hit kills like at long distances. It should. It's firing a really big bullet that hits really hard. It's a D tier for me. Next up is the TAC V. You might know it as the Scar H. Comes with 20 rounds on the mag. It is the only TAC rifle that you can just pull up, and it's already in automatic mode, which is the way you should probably be using this thing. Uh, this thing hits like a truck. It's got a little bit of recoil to it, but it is controllable. It will usually one hit at any distance that's not in the realm of absurdity. Um, it's just really good all the way around. A little bit slower on handling speed and movement speeds, but I like it. It's a solid tac rifle to use in hardcore. Um, it's definitely better than its little brother, the Scar L. So it's gonna go here, and the M16 goes behind it. SO14. Uh, they've recently buffed it, so single fire mode gives where you can shoot it faster, and they really buffed the fire cap on that. Or you can put it in full auto and go full on burr at them. Yeah, this gun has a ludicrous fire rate in full auto. That being said, it's also really hard to control the recoil pattern on this thing in full auto. Usually, if I'm using full auto, it's just because I want to make a statement by dumping a 50 round mag into the nearest person that this gun goes burr. In single fire mode, it's really good. It's a good tac rifle. It's a solid B tier pick for me. Definitely definitely above. Actually, no, it's gonna be C tier. Reason being is yes, the single fire mode on it is good and all, but the full auto is absolutely stupid. Like there's no reason to run this thing full auto at all. Um, just looking to see if everything else lines up so far. I'm gonna bring the Lockman to like top of C tier. It's not bad. Could use a little work though. The bigger brother to the Lockman 556, the Lockman 762. Uh, we know it as the G3. It hits hard, both in single fire and in full auto. It's got a little bit of recoil for full auto, but that can obviously be controlled. It will one hit at a long distance. I like using it in hardcore. It's not half bad. Uh, it's not like the perfect weapon at all, but it's bottom of B tier. It's better than SO14, and it's definitely better than the Recon. Let's see. Next up is the Vel 46, the MP7. Um, Usually or when we were in Tier 1, you like to run SMGs because they have really high fire rates, and it doesn't matter how many times you hit them. If you just hit them in the face once, they're dead. It's just the way Tier 1 works. Now in hardcore, it doesn't necessarily work that way. Because in Tier 1, you could just shoot a bullet all the way across the map and then hit them in the face, and then they'll die. That's not the case in hardcore. Um, some of these SMGs will do damage that will kill at long range if you hit them in the face, but none of these straight up one hit. Maybe except a couple of them, but we'll get to that. The MP7, really quick handling, fast moving, fast firing SMG. You're never gonna get one hit kills with it unless you're trying to hit them in the face. Um, I think SMGs as a whole just do not perform nearly as well as really any of the assault rifles do. So it's gonna go C tier. It's gonna have to go beneath the SO14 because the SO14 will one hit kill things, despite the full auto being complete like almost entirely useless. The MX9, so the AUG's 9mm little brother. Um, this thing, this thing's not half bad. It's one of the guns that uses subsonic ammo. So when you kill an enemy, it's not going to put a big old skull for the rest of his teammates to tell him, "Hey, guy died here." That being said, the magazine on it's kind of small. I think it's like what a 24 round mag, and the only mag attachment for it's a 32 round. You're almost gonna have to run the magazine extension and just take the ADS penalty. That being said, it's nice, it's quick. Uh, there's almost no recoil to begin with on it. It's above the MP7 for sure. Uh, Lockman sub, so the old famous MP5. In core, this thing was kind of disgusting. In tier 1, this thing was kind of disgusting. In hardcore, it's an SMG. Uh, it still does pretty good. It's quick, fast firing, fast killing, low recoil. It's it's like the M4 of the SMGs. Yeah, bottom of B tier. I'm fine with that. The Vaznov 9K. So the AK platform 9mm SMG. This is a fan favorite for competitive SMGs. It is a fan favorite in core. It was good in hardcore. It's got pretty decent fire rate, really good damage for an SMG. This thing will actually one hit at close range, but it has to be like actually close. Where do I think it goes though? It's definitely one of the best performing SMGs in the game. Um, I think it's better than the M13 just because the Vastnev is so much quicker than the M13 is for handling. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna put it there. The Hurricane, um, it's an AR platform, but it's like a P90 and an AR-15 had some weird child together. Um, it's okay. You get a 50 round mag, which is a bonus, but but in part or as a consequence, you don't get any magazine attachments to put on it. So 50 rounds is what you get, and don't ask for anything else for magazines because that's what you get. Um, it handles pretty decently. It's kind of crappy at long range shooting, or at least in my experience. Close range, it's good. It's nothing to complain about. I would use it over the Lockman 556 though. It's just faster in close range battles. And usually when I'm playing with an assault rifle, I tend to hit it for longer engagements because that's what the assault rifles like to do in hardcore. But the SMGs can take advantage of close quarter stuff. Mini buck. This is also one of those good luck modifying how many rounds you have because it already has a lot. I think it's like what 64. They just recently nerfed it. I'm guessing in core people say this thing got nerfed into oblivion. Um, it's still really strong in hardcore. I can still go on tears with this thing. Quick, low recoil. You have a giant magazine. Uh, I think this one's actually the best of all the SMGs still, because even at range, this thing can really mess someone up because it's so controllable. Um, It's not an A tier anymore. Maybe for like SMGs, this thing's like the A tier. Actually, I'm gonna put it in A tier. I do think it's better to use than the TAC 56. TAC 56 is the good old like mid to long range assault rifle, but it won't one hit at those distances. So like, what's the point? This thing, yes, it's not gonna do either of those things. It will one hit in close range, and you have low enough recoil and faster fire rate than the TAC 56 that it's not half bad at range. Just don't expect to get quick kills. Boss P. So the MPX, MCX, whichever one you want to call it. Fast firing submachine gun based loosely on the MP5 platform. Um, it's good in close range. I can never get it to consistently one hit no matter what I do unless I'm getting straight headshots. A little bit of recoil can be mitigated by building it. But if you're gonna go for like a mid-range like Boss P, you kind of have to go full on for recoil, and that kind of ruins what it's supposed to do. So I think it's beneath the MP5. P90, uh, 50 round magazine, quick handling, small gun, fast movement. It'll beam people at range. Um, that's just gonna go right there. Yeah. The Fennec, ludicrous fire rate, ludicrously low damage. Uh, you will run out of ammo using this. I always run scavenger in hardcore just so I can get more ammo, and I still manage to run out of ammo with this thing. This thing is a freaking bullet hose. Uh, that being said, if you go face to face against a Vector or the Fennec, you're probably just going to lose that battle, especially if it's close range. Long range, yeah, the Fennec kind of sucks at long range. Close range, this thing dominates. Um, but it's not the best of the SMGs, not by any margin. Yeah. So now we move on to shotguns. The first one is the Lockwood 300. Um, the the old double barrel. A lot of people will call it the 725 or the Olympia, depending on what game that they remember this gun from. Um, it's a double barrel shotgun. You get 2 rounds. That's it. The upside to it is these shotguns tend to have some of the longest range of any shotgun. In Modern Warfare 19, it was so problematic that they had to nerf the shotgun, what, 5 or 6 different times because you could actually just snipe people all the way across the map with it. It was kind of stupid. In hardcore, though, yes, you still have a really long one hit range. Yes, this thing still has a lot of range. The downside to that is you have 2 shots. That's it. You After your 2 shots, you got to go run away and reload the thing, and then you can come back. Uh, if you get into an extended firefight, you are kind of screwed. Um, this thing is better than the F-Tech Recon. No, it's not. No, it's not. At least with the F-Tech, I can get 15 kills before I have to reload. Theoretically, I can get 2, maybe. Well, I mean, if you think about it, you could maybe get 4 if you kill 2 people with each shot. It kind of sucks. You kind of have to run fast hands to use this gun. Like it's an actual like perk requirement. Expedite 12. So the semi-auto shotgun that the game came out with. Kind of short-ish range. You can, I think it comes with what, 6 rounds, and you can shoot it relatively quick. Um, I don't use this in hardcore that much because there are better ones. Um, you can put a barrel on it that'll give it 10 rounds. Doesn't increase the range though. It's better than the Lockwood 300 for sure, just because you get more shots. Uh, the Bryson 800, so the pump action shotgun or pump action tube fed shotgun. This thing has a really good range to it. It is a tube fed magazine, so or it is a tube magazine. So after you shoot your 6 shots, you have to put a shell in for each round. So the reload on it can be kind of painful, but it has a really good range. I like the shotgun a lot. Um, it's very situational use. I wouldn't attempt like sniping people with this thing because your time between shots is on the longer side. So it's gonna go bottom of B tier. Bryson 890. So it's the same thing as the Bryson 800, except it has an actual magazine. So it reloads faster than the 800, but you don't get the same kind of range as the 800. So you can be a little bit more aggressive up close. But as for like going through buildings and stuff, it's not as good as the 800. It just doesn't get as consistent kills as its two fed brother will. And then the newest shotgun that we got, the KV broadside, the Saiga or the Vepr, whichever one you want to call them. It's a straight up S tier. And if you need to ask why, um, I the max range that I've gotten kills with this thing is at 40 meters, which is ridiculous from a semi-auto shotgun that can hold 25 rounds. 25 rounds at that range. One of my friends has gotten one hit kills at 50 meters. Like this, that range is so far, that is beyond the long shot range for assault rifles and battle rifles. That's ridiculous. Uh, it's just the best shotgun in the game. There's no question about it. If I could put an extra like tier just cursed, this shotgun is going in it. That that's just the way it is. It's broken. It needs a nerf. Um, that being said, moving on to LMGs. Um, yeah. So the Sokin MG38. I know it as the Negev, just because it looks a lot like the Negev from CS:GO. That's a game I used to play a long time ago. Um, Slow movement, steady recoil. It's very controllable, very like low recoil, very consistent damage ranges. It's a better hmm, yeah, it's better than the SMGs. It will one shot at further ranges. It shoots slower, yes. Recoil is, I'd say, relatively about the same difficulty of controlling. And yes, you do move slower with the Socken, but you get more rounds in the magazine. You can hit through things more effectively than you can with the MP5, and you can sustain yourself a lot easier with the Negev than you can the MP5. Next up is the HCR 56. If you've played the original Modern Warfare 2, you're going to know this as the AUG H-Bar. Uh, it has, what, a 60 round mag on it to begin with. You can put a 100 round mag on it. It's the LMG version of the AUG. However, it kind of sucks. It's if it was just an LMG version of the AUG, it did a really poor job of it. It's the best of D tier, but I can't consistently get one hit kills after past anything like close range. Recoil on it's not bad. It's slower side. It's an LMG. Uh, it's not that great. The 5.56 Icarus, so AR platforms LMG, um, behaves a lot like an M4. It tries to be like the jack of all trades at LMGs, but it's good at nothing. Uh, Long shots on this thing are almost painful. It's gonna go C tier. No, I don't think it's better than the Hurricane or this or that. No, it goes in front of the Expedite. This thing's not that good. And then we have the Raw, the loudest gun I have ever heard in the game or in any Call of Duty game. This thing is so ear-deafeningly loud. It shoots the big bullet. I think it's 300 normal mag. It hits like an absolute freight train off the rails. Uh, it's got some recoil to it now because they nerfed its recoil. But who cares? This thing hits so hard. I cannot find a spot where I'm not getting one hit kills with this thing. It is the slowest LMG by far, but it also hits the hardest of any LMG. It's just a lot of fun, and I mean, when you're facing off against a roll because you're gonna hear it. It's so loud. I think that's part of the fun. I wouldn't put it in front of the mini bog, but below the M16. It's so slow, but it is so good at what it does. And then we have the RPK, another S tier, just automatically S tier. Um, you can put the 30 round mag on it. You can put a 40 round mag on it. It starts off with a 75 round mag, and this thing instantly becomes the hardest hitting AK that you can make. Um, it's not a whole lot of recoil to it. Very good sustainability. Very long one hit distance. Uh, yeah, it's just good all the way around. I like using it. It will hit through objects, depending on what you're shooting at. Yeah, it's a solid S tier. Below the Hemlock, but the broadside's the best gun in the game. It's like why use anything else? The Rap H. So the Lockman platform LMG, really fast fire rate, a little bit of recoil. And I want to say that the recoil becomes harder to control the longer that you're shooting it. Um, Respectable one hit distance. It's slow. It's an LMG, of course. It's this. Where'd I put the other LMGs? There's the Wall. There's the Negev. Of course, RPK. This is the second best LMG by far. I want to say I'll use the Rap over the Vaznev because the fire rate on this thing's pretty good and it's got a good enough mag size on it. Plus a very respectable one hit distance. And if you don't hit them in the first bullet, uh, second one's not very far behind it. Uh, yeah. So that being said, now we move on to marksman rifles, the EBR-14. In Tier 1, this was quite possibly the best gun in the game. In Core, it's a two-hit kill. Unless you hit them in the head, then it's a one-hit kill. In Hardcore, it doesn't matter where you hit them, they're dead. That's just it. Unless, like, maybe you tickle their toes. Uh, but a lot of other guns can one-hit kill now, and consistently. So it's not the best anymore, but it's still good. I use this gun all the time in Tier 1. In Hardcore, I don't tend to use it all that often because there's much better options to use. And this is definitely a longer distance gun to begin with. Um, Top of C tier. SBR, bolt action marksman rifle. It being bolt action automatically makes it one of the worst guns in the game for hardcore. In core, it is a monster, especially when you pair it with the canted laser. Yeah, I have nightmares of that. Um, I'd say it's bottom of D tier. It's a bolt action. If you miss, you're kind of screwed. Uh, yeah, LMS. So the fastest firing tac right or not tac rifle, marksman rifle that we have. We might know it as the PSG-1. Uh, you can put a 20 round mag on it. It one hits at any distance that you hit them at, unless you're tickling their toes. Um, it's going B tier for sure. It's better than their shotguns. It's better than the Negev. Yeah, that's gonna go there. Lockwood, it's not a bolt action, it's a lever action. Still suffers the same kind of issue. You miss, you're screwed. SAB 50, you miss, you're screwed. TAC M. So a lot of people might know it as the Scar 21. This gun has a 10 round mag, can get it up to 20. They just buffed its fire rate, and I tried it out, and it's not half bad. This thing absolutely will kill at any range that you hit them at. I used to use this all the time in Tier 1. It's going to go beneath the M13. Yeah. And then we move on to sniper rifles. If you miss with these, you're not just screwed, you're dead. F tier. F tier. I don't know if I need to explain myself on these. These are long, like extremely long distance guns in a playlist where you have 30 health. Like literally anything else that's above it is like objectively better. Like these three are better than the bolt action sniper rifles, and I'll just go ahead and put their others there because they shoot faster. Uh, the main exception is the Signal 50. It is still a sniper rifle. It still kind of sucks in hardcore. It's gonna absolutely kill someone if you hit it. Hit them with it. It's gonna go above the SPR, the Mark II, and the SAB 50 simply because it's semi-automatic. Riot shield as a weapon to use against people, it is garbage. It's a riot shield. Utility wise, you see a lot of people going to full on turtleback mode, where they just put the riot shield on their back and have whatever weapon they want to use as their primary. Utility, it can't be questioned. It's strong. It's literally you have a shield that seems like it's made out of like adamantium on their back. Um, that's gonna go. I'm gonna say C tier. Uh, and the only reason why it's up so high is just because of the utility it brings. Uh, it sucks as a weapon, but when you go turtleback on it, yeah, you almost can't get killed from behind unless they start tickling your toes. Then we move on to pistols. So the X13 Auto, the Glock 18, really fast fire rate, really small mag. You can put a 50 round mag on it if you want to get stylish with it. Can go akimbo with it. They did nerf the akimbo damage. I like to build this as a pocket SMG because you can get that impact point barrel put on it and start building it like an SMG, and it's really not bad. It's a great backup weapon. Um, it's gonna go bottom of B tier though. No, not bottom of B tier. Needs to go needs to go above the shotguns. It's a great backup. It shoots really fast. If you don't use the impact point barrel, you're going to deal with quite a good bit of recoil. Unless you run a Kimbo, then who cares? Uh, yeah, the Basilisk. So the big old 500 Magnum big iron. If you hit someone with the normal rounds that it shoots, they're dead. That's it. That being said, it has some pretty slow bullet velocity. You can change the ammo type and put it into snake shot, and it turns it into a shotgun pistol. You really kill the range that you can hit people at with it when you do that, but it's a shotgun pistol, and you can akimbo it. It's it's kind of crazy. It's better than running normal shotguns because pistols can get pulled up faster. Uh, I wouldn't use it over the Glock though. And we have the semi-auto Glock, the X12, which is the Glock 17. Doesn't really one hit unless you're like right up on them. Kind of quick fire rate. You have to put triggers on it if you want like a really good fire rate on it. Otherwise, it's kind of like crap. But is it a good gun? No, it's not that great. I know that's gonna look funny because it's going beneath the riot shield, but the riot shield has some really good utility to it, whereas the Glock doesn't. Uh, the Deagle, 50 GS. I love this pistol. I used to run around in Modern Warfare 19 with like in hardcore with just a Deagle and snipe people with it. It's hilarious. I like the gun. It's still good. Has some pretty good bullet velocity on it. 7 round mags, you can get up to like 12. Um, it's it's not the best pistol, but it's better. The best pistol, the P890. So this is Modern Warfare 2's like stand-in for the 1911. It's like a SIG. Uh, it's really good. It comes with 7 round mag. You can get up to 12. Um, Relatively quick fire rate, especially when you put triggers on it. There's a barrel on it that really extends the range that this thing will hurt. Um, this thing will generally one hit like from close range even out to a little bit of the mid range. It's the best pistol, but it's not better than like one of the SMGs. Then we have the rockets. So the Pila, it's used to lock on against air streaks and maybe the Wheelson. I don't know if it can lock onto a Juggernaut. I don't think it can. Um, but other than the utility, it sucks trying to get kills with it. It's I'll put it C tier because it kills streaks, and that's what it's really good at doing. But it really sucks at killing people. Kind of like the Rat Shield. Estrella P, that's gonna be F tier. Doesn't lock on, has really fast velocity on it, really low splash. It's supposed to be used against aerial streaks. Good luck hitting a UAV with it. You can hit the counter AV with it, but there's no point because literally every single firearm in this will do it faster. Reason being is because you could sneeze in the counter UAV's direction and it dies. It's crazy. Um, yeah, it sucks. It sucks to kill people with. and that's about all that I could see using it for. The Joker, uh, everyone's least favorite launcher. You have to lock on to either whatever you're trying to hit with it, or lock on to a streak to shoot it. Um, this thing has an incredible splash radius to it, but everyone runs around with Bomb Squad on, so it's not going to kill them. It's a D tier. Because if you get a team that just for some reason doesn't have Bomb Squad and you get a good hit on it, oh my God, you're gonna get a ton of multi kills. The RPG, I don't know if they fixed the problem where this thing will kill people despite having Bomb Squad on, but when I was grinding the camos on it, this thing was easily the best. It's lethal. You don't use this against streaks that are off the ground. You use it for people and wheelstones, and it is really good at that. Yeah, it's gonna go there. Knife, I actually run the knife as my secondary because when you run with the knife, you just run faster. That's just it's the law of gaming. Um, as for its like killing power, it's a knife. You don't get to throw it. That would be cool though. But it has such good utility. So, like at the start of a game, you can run with a knife and get to places faster than people that don't have a knife can get to. Um, Spawn on B tier. The dual Kodachi, so the new melee weapon. I've tried running around with it. I don't feel like I'm running nearly as fast as I do with just the knife. Uh, so to me, it's just a melee weapon. And X13 auto didn't I already do that? Or is it? Yeah, I did. Okay, I have an extra one. Well, that is the completed uh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 weapons tier list for hardcore modes, or respawn modes, not search and destroy. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and keep an eye out because there'll be other videos like this too.